I have posted a video yesterday about how to do the retargeting of one armature to another one. Well, the video quality was shit, so I remade the tutorial over again. First, you set up the collections. This is not obligatory, but it's just for the sake of the organization. Prepare the model you want animations from and import your model. In my case, I'm going to import a .dae. Here, nest character high res rig.dae. I have exported this animation using, what is the name? GoldenEye Setup Editor. GoldenEye Setup Editor. My English is not that good. So it should be on this A pose right here. This is why you have to export the rig. To start off, you go to your original armature and, well, duplicate it. Name this copy or armature copy or whatever you want. Now go to the pose mode, select everything, and you go in here and apply rest pose. Now you're going to select the bones of your character in exception of these ones, and then you go to edit mode and hit Alt P to clear the parent of these ones. After this, you click in here until you select bone 0 right over here, and then you clear his parent as well. Great, now we have it. The objective of the copy armature is to make these bones move the original armature. So how to do it? You go to the original armature, and before you're doing this, I recommend you hiding up some bones. How should I hide them? You click a bone, click M, and move to another layer. You can select the bone later, like this. Why is that so? For some reason, Smash Bros 64 has some bones that can't be animated, and if you export from GoldenEye Editor, the GoldenEye Editor will pass you the list of the bones that you can't animate. It will return an error, your animation will messed up, so check on the list and hide only the bones that you can't animate. For example, if I'm correct, the bone 3 should be hidden, the bone 9 should be hidden, the bone, I don't know, the bone 14, 17, I'm not sure it was, like, I guess it was 21, and 23. Alright, now we have hidden our bones, which can't be animated. Now you move to the main layer and start doing the process. You select any bone, I'm correcting myself, sorry. You go to the bone constraints and select a copy transform. Shino has told me that using copy rotation also worked, so just try the best, alright? In my opinion, copy transforms is the best option to retarget the animations, so I'll be using this. Select the target to the copy, and before you do anything, go here and write in copy attributes menu. Now enable this add-on if you don't have it. This will speed up the process a lot. Then you select everything, unselect the bone that you have added the copy transform, and select it over again. Once you have done this, hit Ctrl C and copy bone constraints. If it is working, then it will be centered. Now all you need to do is assign the bones. you should assign the bones to the ones that have the same name. So this is bone 26, so I will assign to bone 26. This is the top joint, 0 0 and blah blah blah, etc etc. I'll cut this part on edit. Alright, once you have done this to all the bones, in exception of the ones that you move to another layer, these ones that can't be animated, when you change to the copy armature, you notice that it is moving now. Alright, so this is the essential part of the process. You have your model here. You're going to scale to your character size. Now, because of some adaptations of the games, probably some bones will not match the pose. So we gotta match the bone to how near is the bone you want to retarget from. So this is the bone of the head, right? And this is the closest bone. And it also moves the head. So this bone, this bone should follow this head for the best accuracy possible. And saying that, here comes the other thing about retargeting. Pick the bones and start messing with it. What I mean is, try to match the pose as best as you can, because it will mean the retarget will just look at the bones and will translate how they think the translation should be. So you have to match the bones as accurate as possible. You can also move them, scale them, and etc etc etc. But be aware that maybe some movements can look a little weird and stuff. Well, this is our boy Les. Okay, this is our boy Nas. So what we're going to do now is, you're going to get the bones. This is the head. I want the head to move alongside with the head bone from Ultimate. And so we are going to the constraints, child, and head. And once you have done it, you see that the head moved in a really weird way. To fix this, you simply set inverse. You click here and it will be done. If it's working, once you move the head of the Ultimate model, the head from the original will move as well. So you have to do this to all of the bolts. One thing you can do to ease the job is to go in the data section and select names. Now if you don't like this, it's alright. I guess this is more useful to use on here. I'm not sure about you. So do this to all of the bones and check if it's working. I'll be back in one. Alright, I am back. Now, if everything's working on, once you get in here and mess up with the bones and stuff, you see that, well, it's following, which I have realized I still haven't. Alright. Testing. I have not did this with this bone, the top joint. You can see there's nothing assigned to it. Why? Because the top joint is a really special bone. You see, in the Ultimate models, there's this bone called Trunks, which is the transform. When the character walks and stuff, this bone moves, so the character moves. There are some animations which require the transform movement. So so the top joint is the same thing as the trans. Make sure to assign the top joint as the trans bone. Now let's go for the testing. I'll import an animation in here. Here. Fighter Ness motion body. Let's import his taunt animation. This little OK. We can see the motions are pretty well. You can see it's moving pretty well. There's some problems here, but that's expected. You can't perfectly rig the retargeting because, well, it's two different models. They have different proportions and etc. So don't expect it to be 100% perfect, but it will look very cool. Wow. Now, how do I export this animation? Pretty simple. You go to the original armature here, go to the main layer in here, pose, animation, take action, only selected bones, visual keying, and you don't need to mark this one. Now you name it the action you want, like OK or something. And once you have done this, go to File, Export. I always use .dae because that's what works for me. And to export in DAE, you gotta check this box and uncheck this box. One bad thing about this process is that you have to do the same thing for export to each animation of the Ultimate model. So each animation you should do the exact same thing that I have just done, which is pretty time consuming, but this is the best way I could rely on. It looks stunning. The last thing is going to GoldenEye editor and replacing the animation you want to replace. Comment if you find a better method. Please comment for all of the users to know it and test it. This was the tutorial. Bye bye.